written by our wonderful Narottam Das Thakur. Prabhupada very much appreciated the songs of Narottam Das Thakur. So this one is called Gauranga Karuna Koro. Gauranga Karuna Koro. So if you have your devices with you, first of all, please put them all on silence, because these little babies have that habit of crying in the middle of the katha. And then you can look up Gauranga Karuna Koro. So no harmonium. Huh? Gauranga Karuna Koro Deena Hina Jahane Mosamo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhunane Gauranga Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Go Hari Bol. Jai Haribo, Haribo, Gaura Haribo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Nitya Om Sapada Tamange. Tulesi Bhakti Virahan Swami Prabhupada ki. Ananda Guri Vaishnava ki. Sad Goswami Prabhu ki. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopiko Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki. Braja Bhumi Vrindavan Dham ki. Sri Navadip Maya Pradham ki. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki. Gangamai Jamunamai ki. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsi Maharani ki. Srimati Bhakti Devi ki. Sri Harinam Sankirtana ki. Srila Prabhupada's transcendental book distribution ki. Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Samadhavuri. All glories to the Samadhavuri. All glories to the Samadhavuri. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Kannada translation is going on at Garudev altar. ಸಂತುಷ್ಟ ಗೋವಿಂದ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಇಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್. ಯಾರು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುವಾದ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸಂತುಷ್ಟ ಗೋವಿಂದ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಿಂದಿ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಟು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಎನಿ ಡಿವೋಟಿವ್? ಪ್ರಭು ನೋ ಒನ್. ಓಕೆ. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Hare Krishna. So today I was remembering very wonderful pastime of Srila Prabhupada. There's a devotee who made me a devotee was Bhavananda Prabhu. I was the first devotee to join in a place called Boulder, Colorado, at the foot of the Rocky Mountains in America. And he told me a story, because after Boulder, he went to New York. So he was there in New York. He decorated the temple very nicely. In fact, because previously he was a fashion designer, he was a movie maker, he was interior decorator. So they wanted to come, they just gotten the old Henry Street temple, so they wanted him to decorate it very nicely. So they called him, and Prabhupada came, he looked around, he said, so, Krishna has given you nice talent. You can decorate halls for naked dance show, or you can decorate temples for Krishna. So what will you do? So Prabhupada told him like that. So he told me that then Prabhupada went to Boston, so he went to Boston with him because he was giving Prabhupada massage every evening. So Prabhupada gave the evening lecture, and he came back to his room, and he stood at the very end of his bed, with his back to the bed. And he looked at Bhavananda, he said, all the devotees think that I'm very, very advanced devotee. But I'm always praying to Krishna. Please don't let me fall into Maya. What did he say? He said, always praying to Krishna. Please don't let me fall into Maya. And with that, he leaned back, fell onto the bed, rolled over, and in complete control of his senses, he was sound asleep. So he said, so this is very important. We think pure devotee, he can never fall into Maya. But what was pure devotee thinking? That he's praying to Krishna. please don't let me fall into Maya. Mhm. We're thinking that now I've been in the temple for 1 month, now I'm halfway there to being a pure devotee. I have no worry about falling down. Mhm. But as soon as you become puffed up a little bit, mhm, then uh, that's just Maya's. You know, as soon as you think, oh, I'm a great uh, Sankirtan devotee. I distribute so many books. I'm a great life membership uh, collector. I'm a great funds collector. I'm a great cook. I'm a great pujari. I'm a great seamstress. I'm a great anything. Just like one time, one devotee said, told Prabhupada that I am the most fallen. Uh, and Prabhupada said, you're not the most anything. Simply insignificant. So we're thinking, yes, so that's just putting our. Because after a couple of weeks in the temple, then we're thinking, oh, I will never do that again. Oh, I will never do that again. Oh, I will never do that again. And we see so many people, they've gone back doing that again and again. Huh? So you think, I will never fall down. Then you're just putting your chin so Maya can come and kick you. But pure devotee, what does he think? Oh, I'm always praying to Krishna, please don't let me fall into Maya. Just like I was temple president sometimes. So devotees would come and they tell me, Prabhu, I can't stay in the temple anymore, I'm too fallen. Uh, I said, that's not a reason to leave the temple, that's a reason to stay. If you tell me that, oh, I see Krishna everywhere, in everybody's heart and everything, and I said, go anywhere like Narad Muni and preach. But you say that you're fallen, then you have to be in the temple. Huh? Just like, do we get better and then go to the hospital? No, we go to the hospital sick to get better. Hmm. So if you say, oh, I'm so fallen, Prabhu, I can't stand it, that's the reason to stay. That's not a reason to go. You're giving reasons to stay. If you tell me that, oh, I see Krishna everywhere, it's all right, go wherever you want, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. This is a beautiful song by Narottam Das Thakur. Was he was the second generation of Vaishnavacharyas, and Prabhupada appreciated his songs very much. And he said, Gauranga Karuna Koro, Deena Hina Jani, Mosamo Patita Prabhu, Nahi Tribhuvani. That Gauranga, please be compassionate upon it. Karuna means compassion. Deena Hina Jani. Or please be compassionate to the fallen, very fallen. Dinahina means very fallen souls. Mm-hmm. But Mosamo Patita Prabhu, you'll not find anyone more fallen than me. In Tribhuvane, in the whole three worlds. So the purport Prabhupada explained is that therefore you have to save me first. You've come to save the most fallen. There's no one more fallen than me. So ASAP, I have priority basis. Then he challenges the Lord. Jari daya na koribe. If you will not give mercy to me, patita dekiya, seeing that I'm petite, then patita pavana nama kisera lagiya. Then why do you have this name patita pavana? I'm the most fallen. Seeing me fallen, you have to give mercy to me. Otherwise, if you don't give mercy to me, then what is the use of this name patita pavana? It's very funny. He makes joke with Lord here. Hare Krishna. Om Agyan Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksurum Bilitam Dena Sri Gurave Namaha Chaitanamanovidam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Tayam Rupa Kadamayam Tati Swapadantigam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasinnu vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So like we said, we're just 2 days away from the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's, as we're seeing, he's the most merciful. Prabhupada says, Krishna, he demands, you have to surrender. But Lord Chaitanya, he's not even requiring surrender. He's just giving. He's just giving you Krishna consciousness. Just chant the holy name, you'll get Krishna. Krishna, he told him, Bhagavan, first you surrender. But even Chaitanya and Nitai, they never even ask for surrender. We were just listening this morning to Shruti Kirti's class in Vrindavan. And because he was traveling with Prabhupada, and they went, somehow they went down to Caracas in Venezuela. And Prabhupada saw Gaura Nitai there, and he was overcome with ecstasy. And then he told the devotees, just see how merciful these two are. They have come so far away to save you. You probably don't even know where Caracas, oh, now you know, because Trump made it famous. Anyway, now you know Caracas, Venezuela. He came all the way there to Venezuela to save you. Prabhupada never said, I came. He said, Lord, Gaura Nitai, they came. And Prabhupada was crying. Then he went to Miami. Miami has the most beautiful, their hands are just like this. Most beautiful deities. And Prabhupada saw those deities. Again, he went into ecstasy. And he was just telling us, Gaura Nitai are so merciful. Then this Prabhupada was just so ecstatic to see, he went to New York with 40 rupees in his pocket and a box of Srimad Bhagavatam, and hardly any, just your name of some Gopal Agarwal and what do you call that place? Butler, oh yeah, Butler. So, since COVID, funny things slip out of my brain. Anyway, Butler, Pennsylvania. And now he was seeing that Krishna consciousness was spreading all over the world. He was just in ecstasy. So then they went to Atlanta. Then Atlanta, Prabhupada, he made the world record there. 2 minutes he lectured. He said, these two lords are so merciful. And he sang that song, Bahudvijana, Nitai Gaura Chan. And he said, these two lords are so merciful. And he just, the kartals fell from his hand, his head fell. He just went into ecstasy. Seeing how Krishna consciousness was spreading all over the world like this. It's so amazing. So anyway, we're about to celebrate the appearance of that most merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared on the Falgun Purnima in exactly 540 years ago. And we'd like to discuss Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in Braj. As Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to go after taking sannyas, he went to Puri because his mother said, if you go so far away to Vrindavan, those days it's not that you jumped on Indigo and you flew to Delhi and took a taxi, AC taxi to Vrindavan, Everybody walked. So hardly anybody from Bengal went to Vrindavan. So there'd be little chance to hear any news. But if you stay in Puri, the Bengali devotees always going back and forth from Puri, then we'll get some news. So Mahaprabhu, in deference to his mother who had given him life, given him his birth, and he said, all right, I will stay in Puri. But still he wanted to go to Vrindavan. So he went on his path to Vrindavan. We know in Jharkhand, he caused even the lions and tigers and deers to embrace one another whenever they're always very envious of each other, but they were embracing each other with tears in their eyes and with their own way. They were chanting Hare Krishna mantra. and squirrels, and everyone was chanting. And he met Sanatana Goswami in Benares, and they're very important chapters, Sanatana in Madhya Lila. Then he went on to Prayag. In Prayag, he met Rupa Goswami. That's also another very important chapter, his instructions to Rupa Goswami. And then finally, he came to Mathura. And he was completely in ecstasy. From Mathura, he started his, first he went to Bisramghat. Bisramghat is, Visram means to take rest. First we do Shram. Shram means hard work. Just like we know one verse is there in the very beginning, second chapter of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma Svanusita Pumsam Visvaksena Katasya Notpadayed Yatharuchi Srama Evahi Kevalam. Did any of you follow all the rules and regulations of Varnasam very carefully? But you don't Kataruchi. You don't get any ruchi for hearing about Krishna. Then Srama Eva Hi Kevalam. It's just useless waste of time, nothing else. So in Bisramghat, and Bisramghat is famous even from millions of years ago. Because we know Bisramghat's famous because Krishna, after he took out Kamsa and Chanur, Mustika, and everyone, and all the Kamsa's brothers, then he and Balaram went to the Jamuna, and at that place, they bathed and rested because they had done a lot of heavy work. But we learn from Adi Braha Purana that even Lord Braha, after lifting the earth from the bottom of the ocean, he came there to Mathura. So it's an old city for millions of years. And Bisram, he took rest there. So this is from millions and millions of years, this famous place, Bisramghat. Then there was 12 ghats to the north, 12 ghats to the south. Mahaprabhu took bath in all of them. Then he started his parikrama from Bisramghat. Just like we also have our Radharaman Maharaj and his crew, they take, during Kartik, they take everyone walking parikrama like Mahaprabhu. So the first place he went to, Madhuvan. And most important pastime in Madhuvan was, this is where Dhruva Maharaj performed his penances. Now we're accustomed to hearing how in Puri, Mahaprabhu was always hearing about all the Madhurya Lila and very confidential pastimes from 10th canto and elsewhere. But in Chaitanya Mangala by, what was his name? Locham Das Thakur. He describes that Mahaprabhu 100 times he listened to Dhruva Katha and Prahlad Katha. Just like we were all watching Mahavatar in the String a couple of months ago. We saw those, we saw 3 times. But Mahaprabhu, he listened to Dhruva and Prahlad Katha 100 times. Because before we can enter into Madhurya Lila or anything like that, we have to first understand Jivera Swarabhoy Nitya Krishna. I'm the eternal servant of Krishna. So 100 times he heard about Prahlad, 100 times he heard about Dhruva and Dhruva's pastime. We read about it in Srimad Bhagavatam, but you can come to Vrindavan, you can see the hill where Dhruva Maharaj was performing his penances. Then he went to Talavan, where there used to be so many tall trees. Now there's 3 or 4. There used to be just 2. They weren't very tall, but they were tall trees. Now there's several others just coming. They're just coming up. So they're not very tall, but they're tall trees. From Talavan, he went to Kamudvan, where there's the Bhajan Kutir of Kapiladev. And a very beautiful kund is there. I believe, as I remember, it's Padma Kund, although there's no lotus flowers in it. And there, the mud on the bottom of the kund is very, very black. And all the devotees, they go in the water and then they come out and they smear their whole bodies, you know. So uh, uh, nowadays people, they do these mud packs and this and that, and they spend thousands of dollars in the resorts to do these things. They're Raj you can do for free. We all come out in the sun and all black and come, just let it dry, and then we go in again and wash it off. And then we pay our respects to Kapila Dev, who's meditating there. Then from Kamudvan we come to Bahulavan. Actually, no, first before we get to Bahulavan, we get to one place called Santanukund, where they claim that this is where Santanu Maharaj performed penances and austerities. They say for 10,000 years. How anybody know? Well, we know that in Dwapar, you people lived for 1,000 years. But anyway, they claim there that he stayed 10,000 years. He performed penances and austerities there. And when Krishna appeared and said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want a son like you." He said, "Well, nobody like me, but I'll give you somebody close." So his son was Bhishma Dev. So there's a moat, if you know moat, ring of water. And there's a big tall temple, and on top a beautiful temple of, you go up many, many, many steps. The backside, you go all the way around to the backside of the moat, and there's a little bridge that goes across, and it's so many steps, and you go up and see uh, uh, Santanu Bihari. Very beautiful deity, Radha Santanu Bihari is there. Then we go to Bahulavan. In Bahulavan, there was a very pious cow named Bahula who did penances and austerities there, so that place became known as Bahulavan. So Mahaprabhu went to Bahulavan. Then in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it doesn't specifically say, but it says he came up to Bahulavan, and then all of a sudden it starts talking about the beauty of the place. So it must be the beauty of Bahulavan, that the trees with their fruits, they were hanging down and paying their obeisances to Sriman Mahaprabhu. The deer and the does came together and they began to lick the body of Mahaprabhu. The gopis are, when Krishna was in that forest and the deer began to come, the female deer came and the bucks also came. So the gopis were very envious that both of them came to honor Krishna. So Mahaprabhu also, when he came, all the deers and bucks, they came to sniff his body and lick on his body. The cows would not stay with their gwalas. They just ran away to smell the beautiful body of Mahaprabhu. They recognized this is the same Brajendanandan Samsundar, but now he's in golden complexion. Then from Bhulavan, he started towards Govardhan Hill. And first he came going along the road because he was doing Prikrama in a special way. Rent a nice AC bus and AC taxi. But Mahaprabhu, he was simply going by his lotus feet without any shoes, with his arms raised in the air, chanting very enthusiastically, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in this way, Mahaprabhu was doing Prikrama. And he came to the end of tip of Govardhan Hill, and his servant asked someone, "What is the name of this village here?" And they said, Aritagram. And then Mahaprabhu returned to his external consciousness because he realized the real name of this place is Aristogram, where Aristasura was done away with. So this means this is where Radhakund and Shamakund. He asked everyone, where's Radhakund and Shamakund? But they were lost to the eyes of the world. And Mahaprabhu sat underneath a tamal tree and he saw two paddy fields. One was called Kali, one was called Gauri. So you can understand this one, Gauri, we know means golden. So he understood this is Radhakund. And Kali, this is Shamakund. So he went down and bathed in that water and he chanted so many beautiful prayers. You Yata Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Data Sarva Gopisu Saivaika Vishnu Ratyanta Ballabha. See, Yata Radha Priya Vishnu, just as Radha is very dear to Vishnu or Krishna, Tasya Kundam Priyam Data. This Kund, known as Radha Kund, is just as dear to Krishna. Sarva Gopisu Saivaika Vishnu Ratyanta Ballabha. Of all the gopis, we know Sarva means all. Sarva Gopisu Saivaika. Ek. There's one, Vishnu Atyanta Balava. When we want to say the mostest of anything, then we say Atyant. Hmm? Huh? Huh? So mostest belovedest of Krishna. This is a nice verse, even Hindi wallahs will be able to understand. E kunde nitya Krishna radhika rasange jale jala kele kori tire rasarange. E kunde in this kund, nitya Krishna. You can understand. Very simple. Krishna's Kaviraj's Chaitanya Charitamrita is marvelous, even from mundane point of view. If you study Bengali literature, you have to study, because he has written it. All the deep philosophy of Mahaprabhu is there, but very, very simple words. And so sweet. It is unique in Bengali literature. You have to study, even from mundane scholarship. Ekunde Nitya Krishna, always Krishna. Radhika Rasange, along with Radharani. Jale, we say pani, but they say jole. You say niru. They say jal. So jale, in the water. Jale, Ekunde Nitya Krishna Radhika Rasange Jale Jala Keli Kori Jala Keli. They do water pastimes. Or tire, we know tira means bank. We're singing every day. Jamuna tira banachar. Tira means banks. Ras Arange, they're doing Ras Lila on the banks. Ek kunde se ek bara kore snana, Thanra Radha Sama Prema Krishna Kore Dana. In this kun, ek bar kore snana, say ek bari kore. Someone, ek bar kore snana, one time takes snan. We know like snan yatra we do here. Ek bar kore snana, then Thanra Radha Sama Prema Krishna Kore Dana. Krishna is giving charity. When you go to Vrindavan, when you go to Radhakund, immediately so many Brahmins will come. They want ready to take charity from you. Dan, dando, dando. But Krishna, he's giving dan. Ek bar kori, one time take bath. What dan he gives? Radha Sama Prema. We heard this word sama in Bhagavad Gita. Samoham subhabhuti. I'm equal to everyone. That prem, equal to Radharani's prem. Krishna, he's giving in charity. So chanting all these beautiful mantras, you can learn. If you go in Chaitanya Charitamrita, whatever language you know, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, these verses are there. You can learn them. Very beautiful verses. Tanrara Sama Prema Krishna Kori Dana. Krishna is giving charity. So after discovering Radhakund and Shamakund, Mahaprabhu started on his Govardhan Prakama. And first place he came was in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says Sumana Sarovar. Now we know it is Kusum Sarovar, but Kusum and Suman both mean flower, because used to be beautiful flower gardens there. So Mahaprabhu came there and he took darshan of Govardhan Hill. As you may or may not know, Govardhan is sinking. So Radhakund is already, because Radhakund is the two eyes. So that's the head. And he's shaped like a peacock, so that that part, the neck will be very low. So it's already gone. So much so that he says that, it clearly says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Mahaprabhu came to Sumana Sarovar and he took darshan of Govardhan Hill. How many people have been to Kusum Sarovar? How many people saw Govardhan Hill there at Kusum Sarovar? We never saw. Even in 500 years, he sank so much. But it clearly says Mahaprabhu saw Govardhan Hill there. Now we don't see. Then he came to Manasi Ganga in the middle of Govardhan. He came to Dan Gati and was in so much ecstasy hearing the pastimes of Krishna. He was also taking tax. Dan can also mean tax. he was taxing the gopis at this place, because that's where the hill comes down like this. It's very narrow pass. You can cross over. So Krishna put up his tax stand uh, on the Gati there. So that place became known as Dan Gati. He taxed the gopis. And then it tells very interesting thing. Mahaprabhu, he wanted to go to, he wanted to see Gopal. Because we know yesterday was Madhavendra Puri's, yesterday was it? Or day before? Yesterday. Madhavendra Puri's disappearance day. So we know Madhavendra Puri at Govindakund, he sat down and cowherd boy came and said, Baba, Baba, why are you fasting? Nobody in my village fasts. Everybody has plenty to eat. Those who don't have anything to eat, they beg from others. Nobody fasts in my village. So you please take this milk. I have to go gather my cows up and take them home. It's evening time. So I'll come back later and get the pot. Then Mahaprabhu offered that, Madhavendra Puri offered that milk. And then he tasted it, and so sweet, without any jaggery or honey in it. It was so sweet. And he waited for that boy to return. He fell asleep. And he got dream. Oh, Madhavendra Puri. The Mughals attacked. And the Pujari threw me in the bushes and ran away. And he never came back. And I'm here in the sun, in the snow. Well, of course, no snow, but in the rain, in the heat, in the cold. Please rescue me. Then he woke up and called all the villagers. He took. They found that they cut away all the brush, and they found this beautiful deity of Krishna with his left hand raised in the sky, and his eyes just like the moonlight on the dark Ekadasi day, just like that. And his other hand on his shoulder, on his hips, excuse me. Beautiful deity, and he saw him on top of the hill, and later somebody built a big temple. But Mahaprabhu considered Govardhan Hill non-different from Krishna. And he wanted to take darshan of Gopal, because he came there to Govindakund, he was there at Manasi Ganga. When he got the news that the Mughals had again attacked, and the Pujari, they ran away with the deity to a place called Gantoligram. So right from Dangati, it's very easy to go to Gantoligram. So they were keeping him in a Brahmin's house in Gantoligram. So Mahaprabhu got this news, so he went there to Gantoligram and got darshan of Gopal there. When he saw Gopal, he chanted a very beautiful verse. What is that? Purport of the verse is that that may that left hand of the lotus-eyed Lord Krishna, Bhamam, Bhamas Tamara Sakshasya Bhuja Dandak Sapatuva Krida Kandokatam Jena Nito Govardhano Giri. Bhama we know means left. So that left hand of the Tamara is another name for lotus. Tamara Aksha. His eyes like lotus flowers. Bhamas Tamara Sakshasya Bhuja Danda Supatuva. Sapatuva means that may that left hand that lifted Govardhan Hill like Krida means play, Krida Kandukatam Jena, who lifted it just like a play toy. May that Sapatuva, may that always protect you. Bhamas Tamara Sakshasya Bhuja Danda Supatuva Krida Kandukatam Jena Nito Govardhano Giri. That left hand of Lord Krishna, of the lotus-eyed Lord Krishna that lifted Govardhan Hill just like a play toy, may that left hand always bless and protect you. In this verse, we find the translation in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada, one of the qualities of Krishna he describes is this verse. He doesn't use the verse, but we found out just that this is the verse in Sanskrit. So he saw Gopal there to his full satisfaction. Hmm? And then when the danger was over, they took Gopal back and he followed with the procession, chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Huh? He followed them just to the bottom of the hill. When they took the Lord back up to the big temple on top of the hill, he stayed from the bottom and offered his obeisances and continued his prikrama. Hmm? And from Govardhan, he started toward Kamivan. The farthest west forest of Vrindavan is Kamivan, so far west that it's in the state of Rajasthan. We have to leave UP and go into Rajasthan to see Kamivan. He saw many places in Kamivan. Then from Kamivan, he came to where was that? To Nandagram. From Kamivan, he came to Nandagram. When he got to Nandagram, he asked all the villagers, "Are there any deities here?" And they said, "Oh, there's a cave on top of this hill. Inside that cave, there's a very tall gentleman with a pili pagri, yellow turban, and a very dainty lady. And in between Tribanga Lalit, there's a little cowherd boy in threefold bending form." So Mahaprabhu climbed that hill. He entered that cave. He saw this big, tall Nanda Baba, a little dainty Mother Yasoda, in between little cowherd boy. And Mahaprabhu began to caress the body of Gopal. In fact, during that, you've all heard about the great Chaitanya Charitamrita marathon when they produced so many chapters, so many volumes in an amazing amount of time. I was president of Portland at that time, and Prabhu was LA, so we came down to LA. And I was walking down the street, minding my own business, and Jadharani grabbed me and said, "Hey, you, come here." Because they were taking pictures, because it's easier if you have something in front of you, it's easier to paint. So they were taking pictures of devotees were posing for the different pastimes. So I posed for that one, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caressing the body of Gopal. Then there was the Buddhist priest who brought contaminated substance and the eagle took it and dropped on his head. So that's me also, getting, there's an old man behind him with a cane. So many of those pictures, then somebody said, "Don't you know this is the president of Portland?" He said, "Oh, Prabhu, I'm sorry." I said, no, I'm happy. This was my tiny little part in the great Chaitanya Charitamrita marathon. So I posed for that picture. Mahaprabhu saw Nanda Baba and Yasoda and Krishna in a cave on top of the hill. Now, of course, the cave is gone. The king of Bharatpur has built a beautiful temple there, and both Krishna and Balaram are there. So then, from there, he went to another forest called Kadiravan. Kadiravan is where Krishna killed the Bakasura. In fact, when you go there on the road, there's a kund, and in the middle of the kund, there's a little bit of small island, and some bushes are there, and you always see Bakasura's descendants sitting there on top of the tree. All these white Bakas are there. So this is Kadiravan. From Kadiravan he came to Kosi, where which was the treasury of Nanda Maharaj, Koskar. So he came to Kosi, and from Kosi he went to Sheshai, where he saw this beautiful, incredible deity, the huge deity of Lord Vishnu lying on Sheshnag. Sheshnag is with this hood over him, and Lakshmi Ji's massaging his lotus. Actually, it's Radharani, because she was so ecstatic. This place, the gopis, they said, you're always saying you were Lord Vishnu, you were this one, you were that one. Show us. So Baladev became Shesh and Krishna became Lord Vishnu. And Radharani was so ecstatic seeing this darshan, she jumped into the scene and began massaging the feet like Lakshmiji. And then from the navel came a lotus flower, and you could see the Brahmas standing there. And then you see all the Devi Devatas all over the place. And very huge, enormous deity is there, Sheshai. And Sheshai, he wandered through so many forests on the uh, that side of Braj, and he came to uh, next place is well, and Chaitanya Charitamrita says it came to Bandirvan. So I guess the Jamuna changed its course because Bandirvan is now on the other side of the Jamuna. But he saw Bandirvan uh, and uh, where the marriage of Radha and Krishna took place, fantasy marriage of Radha and Krishna took place there. Then he crossed over the Jamuna to Badravan. Uh, uh, From Badravan, he went to uh, uh, Mansarovar, very beautiful place called Mansarovar. From Mansarovar, he came to uh, Lohavan, where Krishna killed Lohajangasura. And I'd never been able to find out anything else. It always, everyone just writes, Krishna killed Lohajangasura. What the pastime is, even the residents of Lohavan, I asked them, they don't know. They just have, there's a statue there, because Janga means knee. So there's a statue there of some demon, that Lohajanga demon, but only up to the knee, the rest of it's broken. So, but he saw Lohavan, and when he came to Gokul Mahavan, then he was really in tremendous ecstasy, uh, seeing the palace of Nanda Maharaj, and so many beautiful places there in Gokul. Then he returned to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, he would stay in a place called Akurgat. And Akurgat is a very interesting place. Two pastimes happen there. One time we remember that Nanda Maharaj, he took his bath too early, and the messengers of Lord Varuna arrested him because he took his bath too early on the Dwadasi day. And everyone began crying, and they ran to Krishna, and Krishna and Balaram jumped in the water, and they went down, and they saw Varuna was sitting on a big throne, and his father was also sitting on a nice throne. He said, "My servants, by mistake, they didn't recognize the greatness of your father, but now, I'm sorry in so many ways because I'm responsible. I'm the king, so I'm responsible for my servants too." And in this way, uh, uh, Krishna came out of the water with Nanda Baba, and all the Brishbasis were happy. And then Krishna took all of the Brishbasis all the way up to Golok Dham at that place. And they said, this Golok Dham looks just like our Vrindavan. And they saw everything is just the same. They couldn't tell any difference between Golok and Vrindavan. Because he took them first all the way up. First he showed them the Brahman, and all the Brishbasis were crying, "Where's Lala? Where's Lala? We can't see anything. We can't see Lala. We don't want this." Then he took them up to Vaikunt, and they saw these people with forearms and golden decorations and gold helmet. But where's our Lala? Where's our Lala? Then he took them all the way up to Golok. And in Golok they saw this is just like our Vrindavan. Krishna wanted to indicate to all the Brishbasis that they're actually living, that this Bhu Vrindavan and Golok Vrindavan are not different. So this is also the place when Akrura was taking Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, that he stopped here and Krishna and Balaram took their bath, and he went down to the river and he saw uh, 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 Vishnu and Anantashesh. We have to stop the class here or we go on? So then he took his bath. And then after Krishna and Balaram said, you saw something extraordinary? He said, my dear lords, when I've seen you, what extraordinary thing is there left to see? So two of these pastimes happened here, this Kurga. So Mahaprabhu went to stay there because in Vrindavan, it was too crowded and people were bothering him too much. So, and even in Kurga, they came to bother. They would come from Mathura uh, and all the Brahmins found out that Mahaprabhu was staying there, so they all come and they're always inviting him. And Balabhadra is getting a big headache because he get 10 invitations. So he has to sort out which one he'll accept. And it was going on like this. And then Mahaprabhu, in the daytime, he will go to Keshigat and so many. And finally, he would come to, after Keshigat, he would wander down to what is that? Imli-Tala. And he would stay at Imli-Tala. And it was amazing because underneath that Imli tree, he was chant because at this Imli tree, during the Rasa Lila, Krishna had disappeared from the gopis. Mm-hmm. We know about that. But one time Radharani disappeared. And Krishna was looking for everywhere. And he came and he sat under this Imli tree, tamarind tree. And he was chanting Radhe, 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 and his whole body turned golden. And then Radharani and the gopis came and they saw this golden form. And Radharani's amazed. My ecstatic love is rising in my heart, just like when I see Krishna. Who is this? Then they touched him and woke him up. And then he explained that in the Kali Yuga, we will join together and take this golden form to deliver all the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. So when Mahaprabhu went there, he would sit under that same Imli tree, but he would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. His whole body became Sham. It was amazing. So he was staying there at chanting there at Imli-Tala, and then go back to Akurga to take rest. Then so many people would come there. And one time all the people came and they told Mahaprabhu that everybody's seeing Krishna. Krishna has come to Keshigat every night. He comes to Keshigat and dances on Kaliya's head. And Mahaprabhu, he smiled mildly. And he said, yes, actually everyone is seeing Krishna. That is correct. So that every day they would come and tell, oh, we're seeing Krishna again. He's a return. Then Balabhadra, he begged permission, please let me go tonight to Keshigat and see the Krishna. He says, you fool, foolish people are telling they're seeing Krishna. Why will Krishna appear in Kali Yuga? And you're become a fool by hearing from foolish people. So he said, you stay right here. Tomorrow you will understand. You will see Krishna tomorrow. So the next day, some respectable people came. And Mahaprabhu asked them, everybody's saying they're seeing Krishna. He said some fisherman goes there with his boat at night and he holds a lantern over the water to attract the fish to catch them in his net. And the people are seeing this and they're thinking the boat is Kaliya and the fisherman is Krishna and the light is, the glow of Krishna. Just foolish people. But Mahaprabhu said, yes, but still it is true that people are seeing Krishna. But where they're seeing is different than what they think. And the respectable say, yes, you're a sannyasi, so you're a moving Brahman. You're moving Narayan. And Mahaprabhu immediately closed his ears and he gave them a big lecture how they should not consider the deity to be equal to the Lord. But he said, yes, it is true that where people are seeing Krishna, not in Keshigat, but they're the Kurgats, they're seeing Krishna. So anyway, these pastimes happened there, and poor Balabhadra, he was getting so upset because every day they eat my head. with invitations. So he confided in Rajput Krishnadas, who had come when Mahaprabhu was at Keshigat at Imlitala. This Rajput Krishnadas came and joined him. Uh, and he said, yes, we should leave this place because there's one time Mahaprabhu, thinking that Krishna had entered into the water at Kaliyagat, he jumped into the water. And somehow Rajput Krishnadas cried and Balabhadra pulled Mahaprabhu out. And they said, oh, they discussed among themselves that he's falling into ecstasy so much we have to get him out of Vrindavan. But how will we get him out? Then they made a plan. He said, now it is the month of Magh. If we go along the banks of the Ganga, they will get to Prayag in time for Magh Mela. And on Makar Sankranti, we can take our bath. So they presented this to Mahaprabhu, and he said yes. So then they went on along the banks of the Ganga. First they came to a place called Soro Kshetra. I have seen that place. It's a very special place, several miles from Vrindavan. But there's a beautiful kund there. And they say that's where Lord Braha, when he lifted up the earth, his tusk came in the earth. So it's called Soro because we call, in Hindi, we call pig sewer. So somehow it's been converted to Soro, so Soro Kshetra, the place where Lord Braha put his tusk into the earth to lift her up. Very beautiful place. Beautiful Gaudiya Math temple is there on the banks. Very nice place. And from there they went on to Prayag in time for Magh Mela and Makar Sankranti. So these are all some of Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Braj. He gave instruction to, when he met Sanatana Goswami at Benares, Kashi, he told him that you go to Vrindavan and you find out a nice place for me to stay. I will come a second time. So you find out a nice place for me to stay. And I will come. Of course, we know Mahaprabhu never came a second time, but he told like that. And he said, and you find out that beautiful deity of Madan Mohan. Because he's lost. Because in Vrindavan, Bajranath, he wanted to make a special deity because the town that is known as the forest of Vrindavan, Prabhupada explains, stretches from the municipality now known as Vrindavan, 35 kilometers up to Nandagam. So it's a huge forest. It's the largest of the 12 forests. That's why we call it Vrindavan. With the Brijvasis say Braj, because Braj includes all the 12 forests. So, but the town, the municipality now called Vrindavan, that's where Krishna's most famous Lila, Rasa Lila, took place. So that town has become famous as Vrindavan. But the forest at Vrindavan stretches all the way to Nandagam, including Barsana and Radhakund and Govardhan. So, Bajranath, Krishna's great grandson, he wanted to make a special deity for Vrindavan. So he called Vishvakarma, who's the engineer of the demigods. You have some water? How many engineers we have here, huh? Few, huh? All right, well, Vishvakarma, he's the engineer of the demigods. So Vishvakarma, he made one deity, he carved one nice deity, and the only person who had seen directly Lord Krishna, who was still left on the planet, was Mother Uttara. She was living in Mathura. So they called Mother Uttara, and she said, from the feet to the waist, he is Sakshat Brajanandan Shamsundar. So Bajranath wasn't satisfied. He said, you make another deity. And then they called Mother Uttara, and she said, the Vakshasthal, the chest, this is the feet, that became Madan Mohan. Then when she said the Vakshasthal, chest, that is Sakshat Brajananandan Shamsundar. So he became a Gopinath. So Bharjana had Visvakarma make a third deity. When she saw the third deity, immediately she pulled her sari over her head. Because in our old Vedic culture, the younger generation should not be uncovered in front of the elders. And so he's, one of the distant relative, because she's an Uttara. So immediately she pulled her sari like that and said, "This is the Mukha Chandra of Brajendra Nandan Shamsundar." That became Govinda Dev. So anyway, he told, later they were all lost, and Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, yes, you have to find this Madan Mohan deity. So then Sanatana Goswami, he was on Prikrama, and he went to Mathura, not from Prikrama, he went from Madhukari. Madhukari means to act like a bee. The bee goes to one flower, takes a little nectar, goes to another flower. So all the sadhus and brahs, they don't want to be a heavy burden on the householders. So they take one roti from this house, some sag from this house, little dal from this house, some sabji from this house, like a bee. They call this Madhukari. So he was doing Madhukari in Mathura, trying to find out, because Advaita Acharya had found that deity of Madan Gopal right at the foot of Madan Mohan temple. Down below, there's a deity of Madan Gopal, because that time he was known as Madan Gopal. And that deity is at Advaita Vata, because underneath that butt tree, banyan tree, Advaita Prabhu found this Madan Gopal. At that time, that was when in his youth, Advaita Acharya did this prikrama. So there was just a forest. So he took him to Mathura, where somebody could take care of him properly. Gave him to one Purushottam Chobe, because the Brahmins, many of the Brahmins of Mathura, they're Chaturvedis. So, but in Brijbhasa we say Chobe. So he gave him to Purushottam Chobe. So Sanatana Goswami was going down the street doing Madhukari, and he saw this little black cowherd boy, and he just ran into somebody's house. So Mahaprabhu went running, Sanatana Goswami went running behind, and he came into, that was Purushottam Chobe's house. And he had 3 sons, and the 3 sons were playing with Madan Mohan like he was their brother. No respect or anything. They're just playing with him like he's one of their brothers. And it was early in the morning, and it was in the winter, so Chobe's wife, without, because it was cold, she didn't take a bath, she just put some cloth and she's cooking. Just like we remember in our childhood also. Cold mornings, my mom would just make some oatmeal for us, just put on a bathrobe without taking her bath or anything, just like that. So like that, she hadn't taken baths, just put some cloth and was cooking. And Sanatana Goswami became angry. He said, Are? He said, you boys can't play with him like he's your brother. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you haven't even taken your bath. How can you cook for the Supreme Personality of Godhead without taking your bath? What is this? Then Chobeji fell at his feet. He said, we're sorry. Now we'll follow all the rules. Don't you know all the rules and regulations of the BD? We said, we'll follow now. Then Sanatana Goswami went home to where this place he had found called Dwadasa Dittatila. And in a dream, Madan Mohan came. He said, I was living so happily with my Chobeji family. Now you put all these rules. Maja nahi aati. There's no fun. You put all this rule and regulation. No fun. So next day he ran to Chobeji's house. He tried to fall on Chobeji's feet, but Chobeji fell on his feet. He said, whatever I told you yesterday, you forget it. With the way you're serving the Lord is very pleased. He said, no, Lord came in my dream. He said, you have 3 sons to take care of you in your old age. This Sanatana Goswami, now he's very old. There's no one to take care of him. Let me go with him. So you please take this boy with you. So he took Madan Mohan, they're just leaning him up against a tree. And there's a well there on top of that Dwadasa Dittatila. There's a big hill. Tila means hill. And Madan Mohan used to draw water from that well for Sanatana Goswami. So anyway, then it goes on and a big story is there. Uh, but so he found that Madan Mohan deity, and that beautiful temple of Madan Mohan is there. That's become the icon of Vrindavan. Hmm? Whenever you go to Vrindavan, then everybody buys a t-shirt, eye and a little heart, and then you see the silhouette of Madan Mohan. So it's become the icon of Vrindavan. So anyway, Mahaprabhu's appearance is coming, so we're coming from Braj, so we're telling some of his pastimes in Braj. So if anybody has any questions, we can try to answer those questions. Well, otherwise, we can put our voice to rest here and answer your questions. Bangalore devotees are very shy, huh? There's no questions, and we have with us one of our latest books, Braj Lila Part 3, Giriraj, the King of Mountains. We were just talking about Giriraj. And well, let me tell you something, because Mahaprabhu went to Gantoli Gram. So Gant, means not. So what happened in Gantoli Gram was Krishna and all the gopis were there, and they were playing Holi, because it's described in this book. They were playing Holi, and they're just throwing color and throwing color and throwing color. And, especially this gulal, this reddish color. That's the favorite one. So everything became pink and pink and pink and pink. Even the trees were pink, the birds were pink, everything became pink. You could only tell a kokila from a crow by hearing their sound. One is going, doo-wee, doo-wee, and the other one's going, ka, ka. But both are pink, you can't tell. All the flowers became pink, everything became pink and pink. The kund there became pink and pink, so that became known as Gulal Kund. And then one Sheila appeared, and just like a throne, and Radha and Krishna sat down. And they were laughing and joking. And then one little Manjari, she whispered something in the ear of her friend. And they snuck her out of the assembly of Manjaris and Gopis, and they went through the forest, and they came up right behind Radha and Krishna where they were sitting, and they took the end of Krishna's chadar, and the end of the pallu of Radharani's sari, and they tied a gant, knot. You know what that means, huh? And then they snuck back through the forest, and they're trying to be quiet, And then they sat down like good little Sakhis and Manjaris. And Radha Krishna stood up, and they tried to Radharani wanted to go this way, Krishna wanted to go that way, and they pulled together like this, and then all the gopis began laughing, and they began chanting marriage songs, Vivaha Jagya songs, and Radharani pulled her sari over her face in shame, like this. So this place became known as Gantoli Gram. So Mahaprabhu, he got darshan of, the story is also here in this book, he got darshan of Krishna at Gantoli Gram. So anyway, there's so many, everybody goes to Vrindavan and does Prikrama of Govardhan, but they just do Olympics, they run around the hill. But there's so many places. And my friend, now he's known as Bandhu, but on his photographs as Arjun Bhattacharya, he has taken so many beautiful color pictures. In fact, 284 color pictures are there. 32 paintings. We had to get permission from BBT. 32 paintings there. You'd be surprised how many, you're just running around the hill, but there's so many places are there. So 530 pages of nectar and 284 color pictures and 32 paintings. And we're only asking small donation of 1,000 rupees for this book. Otherwise, if you go on Amazon, you have to pay something like $50 US or something. But here we have it here for 1,000 rupees. I'm also here to sign it. So if anybody wants a copy, we have a little table here. And we don't need cash. You can buy Google Pay and Q codes and so many. They have so many. I don't know all the young devotees. They know all these things, so they'll take care of you. And then I'm here to sign it if you want a copy. And we'll end today with a little kirtan. And you're all tired of sitting, and this is dancing music, so everybody can stand up. After.
Hare
Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Radhe. darshan of Haridev, then Girivara Daliki, Sukama Day. Then we go on, Sukama Gaura. Manasi Ganga, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Ananda Gauri Vaishnava ki, Sat Goswami Prabhu ki, Ramacharya Siddh Haridas Thakur ki, Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go, Shama Kun Radha Kun, Giri Govardhan ki, Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki, Sri Navadi Maya Vrindavan ki, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Gangamai Jamunamai ki, Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsi Maharani ki, Srimati Bhakti Devi ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtana ki, Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki, ISKCON Bangalore ki, ISKCON Sesaripuram ki, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Sri Sri Nitai Chaitanya ki, Sri Sri Gaurangi Bangalore Ishvara ki, Sri Nrsimha Bhagwan ki, Jai Gaur Premanand. Oh, glories to the Samad. Oh, glories to the Samad. Oh, glories to the Samad. Oh, glories to Sri Guru and Gaura. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. If anybody wants a book, we have a table over here. We don't need cash. You can pay online and go in the app and take this one from there. And I'm here to sign it this evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Bhaktirala Salpa Kuttaviko, please sit down for a few minutes. We have a few announcements. First of all, let's thank His Grace Deena Bandhu Prabhu for wonderful class and wonderful Kirtan. Hare chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. First of all, I would like to welcome you all for ISKCON Sesaripuram Jagannath Mandir for this Sunday feast. So we have got some few announcements. So tomorrow being Sunday, that is Monday, we have got Adivas celebrations from evening 7 p.m.